Hey guys, and welcome back to my series on restoring this massive vintage Lego haul I got off Facebook Marketplace. When I went to pick up this Lego, believe it or not, the seller told me he actually found it sitting out on the curb with the trash, waiting for the garbage truck. And for that reason, I've affectionately started calling this series Rebuilding the Trash Kingdom. Woo! So how has the kingdom been doing since my last video, you may be asking? Well, it's a time of peace and, oh geez, I spoke too soon. Well, I've been trying to decide which set to restore next, but it looks like what the kingdom is most in need of right now is a blacksmith. Or I guess make that two blacksmiths. So for today's video, I will be building set number 6040, otherwise known simply as Blacksmith Shop. And since it appears that I have two of these sets, I decided I would build them both. But before I started building, I made the decision to sort all of these pieces out, because honestly I nearly lost my mind trying to find all the bricks I needed for these sets out of the unsorted pile of Lego. I chose to sort by color because I figured it would be the fastest way, and it would make it easier to reassemble the other sets from this haul in the future. Also, I just wanted to take a moment and say thanks to everyone who took the time commenting on my last video to let me know which sets you thought I had in this haul. It was extremely helpful, and I think I have a pretty good idea now of everything I've got in this lot. Anyway, back to the set, or I should say sets. So this guy here was actually the reason I knew I had two blacksmith shops. Believe it or not, he's an exclusive figure to this set. So when I found two of them, I knew right away I must have two sets. Luckily, all of that sorting really paid off because I gathered all the pieces I need for these sets in no time. Unfortunately, after gathering all of the parts needed for these sets, it looked like I had quite a few discolored yellow bricks, and some that just had mystery gunk. But thankfully, some of you guys who watched my last videos recommended I try restoring the discolored bricks with hydrogen peroxide and UV light. A quick dingo safety alert. Always use proper safety precautions when using potentially dangerous chemicals. Wear gloves, proper eye protection, and ask an adult for help before trying this at home. As you can see here, I ended up submerging the discolored pieces in a 3% hydrogen peroxide solution. Then I harnessed the power of the sun and let the pieces sit for several hours undisturbed. And when I came back to check on these pieces later, they looked good as new. Well, actually, I think they're still a bit discolored, just in a different, less gross, less noticeable way. Let me know in the comments if this is normal when recoloring bricks, or if you have any tips on how I can get them closer to the original color. Oh, and I also used a trusty toothpick and microfiber cloth to get rid of that mystery gunk. And finally, after all that hard work and preparation, it was time to build. I have to say, this set was way more enjoyable to build than the yellow castle from my previous video. It's probably just due to the lower piece count, but either way, I found the instructions way easier to follow and was able to complete the build without making any mistakes this time. Come to think of it, I might actually prefer smaller sets like this. Something about how concise the build is and it only taking a couple minutes instead of a few hours. It's kind of nice. I don't know, am I just weird? Does anyone else feel this way? Anyway, while we let these blacksmiths do their job, here's some facts about the set. Originally released in 1984, set 6040 was actually the first civilian set ever created in the castle theme, meaning it's the first set focusing on more mundane parts of medieval life, as opposed to the more exciting sets depicting knights battling or defending castles. If you're curious, this set had an original retail price of $9.25. If you'd like to pick one up today, the average used price on Bricklink is $54.99. And if you want to buy a new one, it'll set you back a whopping $450. Like the set itself, this blacksmith figure is one of the first civilian minifigures created for the castle line, meaning it's one of the first figures in the castle theme that wasn't a knight or a noble, and just kind of a regular dude hanging out in the castle world. Fun fact, this was the only time they created this cape piece in the old brown color. If you'd like to pick up one of these figures today, the average used price on Bricklink is $12.63. Next up, we have a knight from the Crusaders faction, which is also sometimes called the Lion Knight faction. Minifigures from this theme actually supported a variety of emblems on their crest, but this particular one features crossed axes. If you want to pick one up today, Bricklink has the average price at $9.82. Just for fun, here's a side-by-side comparison of this set with the LEGO Ideas Blacksmith Shop, released in 2021, set number 21325. As you can see, the new set's a bit more complex than its predecessor. Oh, and here's something really cool I didn't know until I looked up the instructions for this set online. There's actually an official alternate build. I remember seeing alt builds on the back of boxes when I was a kid, but I don't ever remember seeing them in instructions, so it was a nice surprise. As you can see, the alt build is a small tower and horse cart, and for some reason the instructions show the blacksmith flipping his apron around. I guess he just likes feeling the wind on his bare chest. I don't know. I really like the pop of red at the base, and I think it's a really nice set all on its own. Well, that about wraps up this week's build. Let's see if these guys have finished reforging the knight's swords yet. Huh, it's taken them a while. I think he might have lost track of what he was doing. So overall, I really like this set. I always like kind of the, I guess you'd call them civilian sets. It kind of reminds me of, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, the episodes that weren't a huge battle, like before the Cell games, when characters were just kind of like hanging out, or, you know, Piccolo needed to get his driver's license. It was peaceful, you know. But what do you think? How would you rate this original Blacksmith Shop set? I don't really have a rating system right now, but I'm gonna just give it a thumbs up and say I really like this one. And it'd be a set that I just have on display by itself, which says a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.